Okay, so, sorry there. iPhone storage went full and it stopped me. So I had to delete a whole bunch of old videos and photos to get some room here to finish. So, out of all my subscribers and those that watch me on a regular that are in van life or not or whatever, comment, as I was saying before, comment on the video if you're a rock hound. 1, I'm a rock hound. 2, if a meetup is a serious option, or I should say, if you have the option to be able to travel to get to a meetup, no matter where you're at in the country, or if you're in Canada even, if you have the ability and are able and very interested, seriously interested in coming to a meetup, whether it be in Pennsylvania or New York, so that would be 2. Comment if you are seriously able and interested. 3, how much notice would be a acceptable notice on time frame wise, from posting a video about a meetup with the dates and all the specifics from the actual meetup date. And if it was at a campground where a couple days might only cost you $100 something, or would you be willing and interested in it then? Or would you prefer, if I found a location like this though that was private property and was able to rent it from said owner, and maybe, in that case, just, by donation to help cover the cost, depending on what a property owner would want for a couple days to rent the space out. And I'm sure if I did that, I would have to print up some kind of release of liability waiver that everyone would have to sign so that the owner would feel safe that nobody can sue them for if they get hurt while on their property. Because most places you go to dig, like pay to dig, you're signing a waiver before you dig. And that is releasing the owner of the pay to dig from any liability if you get hurt or killed while hard rock mining or digging a hole in the ground, and if it happens to collapse on you and you suffocate, stuff like that. So most anybody else would also want some kind of release of liability if we were to somehow find the location and a property owner willing, they would want release of liability. So, you would have to be willing to sign that at arrival time. I mean, I did for the Overland Festival that I went to. Had to sign a waiver before I was even allowed to drive back to Lane and get up on the area where the festival was for the weekend. So, yeah. So let me know. Just to put, I mean, right now this is just in the beginning stages. More of this is the wheels are turning and the thought process, you know, and the barnstorming ideas in my head, looking ahead to future. I know I'm not one to look too far ahead because unfortunately you never know how much time we got. And for some of us like myself, time is shortened a lot. So, you know, but it's got to be at least a little bit in the future. So, yeah, let me know. Definitely comment to let me know if you're a rock hound, if you'd be interested in paying for a campsite in a campground. Cause I can talk to, I know the people that, like I said, I know the guy that owns it. I know the people that run it. I could easily message and find out if they have a weekend towards the end of the season, or if there's, even if it had to be next year in 2024, to plan ahead to when the campground has no bookings and be able to book up a bunch of sites on one half of the campground, you know, and then find out cost and whatnot. And then that way, you know, so give me a head count on who would be willing to stay at a campground. It's not, like I said, it's very cheap compared to many campgrounds. So, you know, a 2-3 day meetup event might cost you, you know, it'll be under $100 or just over around $100 for, you know, 3 days. If I recollect what it cost me the last time I went up there for the pig and dig. There I paid for the pig and dig plus the stay. So, yeah, just give me a heads up, you know, in the comments so I can kind of tally how many people would be interested and able and willing to travel. How much of a notice would you need on the average? You know, what would be like the minimum notice to say, hey, you know, 2 months from now I'm having a meetup. Here's the dates. Here's the place. I have X amount of campsites reserved and rented. And then, you know, if people want to come, I would, you know, just ask for donations to help cover costs and whatnot. You know, or, well, I guess if it was at the campground, I would, you know, whoever's coming could cover the cost of their campsite to park their van on, or park their overland rig on, or, you know, park their vehicle and put up a tent. And then we can still do kind of like a community breakfast, community dinner type deal. At least one day. If, you know, if everybody was interested in that. So those are just ideas. These are ideas that I have. So I apologize for the long video. Hopefully you've watched it all, because this is something that I would really love to be able to do. As much as I would wish I could do it next month, I know that's not possible. But even if it has to be next year in 2024, you know, to shoot for that, you know, But it's just brainstorming ideas, trying to come up with possibilities. Or would everybody just rather do a one-day meetup where, you know, everybody's on their own to go find their own place to park afterwards? You know, if I found a parking lot to have it in for the day, but then it would be up to everybody to go find their own places to park. If it's a parking lot that would allow us to park there overnight, fine. If not, then everybody would be on their own to go after the meetup. I mean, I kind of like the idea of a couple-day event just so that the gathering of people with the same interests and lifestyle could, you know, have that time to get to know each other, mingle, bond, make friendships, connections, you know, especially like, you know, drum circle type ideas. I love drum circles. I mean, there's just something about, you know, everybody just bumping to the beats, you know, and making, even if it's not all perfect, it's just something that I've done before, and I really, and I know I'm no great drum player when it comes to, you know, that, but what I got out of it with that circle of people, the feels, just everything. I mean, it was great. It was awesome. So stuff like that, you know, those are all ideas I'm brainstorming, like I said. So let me know what you think. If you're a rock hound, if you'd be interested in actually staying at a campground in New York, if I can, you know, find a time where the campground's not booked, even if it has to be 2024, plan ahead far enough, get half the campground to ourselves for a couple days. And how much notice would people need to be able to make it if they have to travel across the country, down from Canada, you know, stuff like that. So comment down below, let me know, bugs, and we'll see if we can make this happen here sometime, either the end of this year or 2024. The Bearded Nomad Relic, Bearded Nomad Van Life, Bearded Nomad Relic Hunter Vanner Meetup. So let me know, and I will catch you all later. Now this is official. This is the official Fight for Love, Not Hate. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And I love you all, and thanks for the support. And hopefully soon the viewed hours will be there. And because as soon as I can get monetized, any money I can make from that, I will definitely be putting towards a good bit of it will be going towards this. If I have to, I'll use that to help fund this meetup, even if it isn't 2024. And I'll use that money to help fund getting the camp. If I can get enough, if I can make enough, there won't be no cost to nobody to show up and stay at my meetup at the campground. I'll cover the cost off of what I make on YouTube, if I end up making enough. So throw that out there to y'all, just so you know. So I'll catch y'all later. I love y'all. Love you later.